Hendon, talk about the things that went into your decision to return, and did you get a draft grade back from some advisory board?
Really, just prayer and just kind of just talking to my family and the coaches as well, getting their feedback on what they thought of my season and my production. I have gotten a couple grades back. Just really just trusting the process, like I've always done, and keep my head down and working hard and controlling what I can control.
Can you say what the grades were?
Really, they were saying like mid rounds, so I want to go higher. So coming back was a great choice.
And when did you reach that final decision, and what was that moment like when you kind of determined that this is where your future path is going to be?
Yeah, really, I kind of thought about it for a long time, and I'll say about maybe a couple of days after I met with Coach Hype a week or two ago, after the Vandy game, just kind of going over everything with him and with my family being there as well. It was very helpful. So, I'm happy with the decision. I'm excited to come back next year and get it going again.
Yeah, and Coach Golish was in here earlier just talking about how big of a step he thinks offensively you guys can take in year two in the system. Mm-hmm. But for you, how big of a step do you think you can take another year in this system, and where are those steps for you?
Yeah, just like I always preach on, just being consistent in my play and leadership, and just trying to build guys around me to improve their games and work ethic, and just being a leader. I feel like that's the biggest aspect of getting the offense to operate smoothly and take it to the next level that we're talking about.
Coach Golish talked about kind of evolving the offense and adding more on your plate. Mm-hmm. Do you want to have a say in how you're used differently? What's different about the offense? Do you think you should have a say in it?
I feel like the communication factor is very key with me and all the coaches. Me and Coach Golish have extensive talks before games on what I like and what I don't, what I feel comfortable with. But really, they put me in great position no matter what they call. So I always tell them, like, I love everything I see, Coach. Like, we can rock and roll. We're good to go. So the communication factor is big.
And then just a simple question, how excited are you to come back next season?
I'm extremely excited. Like I said before, just ready to lead, ready to be a good example for these young guys coming in, just showing them the ropes and building a new culture here at Tennessee.
And who were some of the first teammates you told, and how did you tell them, and what was their reaction to you coming back?
Yeah, I told Tyler Barron, talked to Javonte Payton extensively about it. I spent a lot of time with Javonte here. We were doing a lot of NIL deals, so just chatting with him about what he's doing, getting ready for the combine and his bowl games and whatnot, seeing where he was going, and he was asking me, like, what am I thinking? I'm leaning on coming back. He was like, man, I wish I could redshirt and come back another year. But it's been a great support system for my teammates, and they've done nothing but give me confidence to follow my dreams.
And you always talk about trust in the process. Obviously, this last year, the last 12 months for you, from the decision to leave Virginia Tech, come here, coaching change, there's been a lot of trust. Have you had any time or taken any time in the last few weeks to kind of reflect on what the last 12 months of your journey has been like and kind of what's your big takeaway from the last 12 months?
I actually have not. I feel like we're still in season, so I really try to keep the same routine as if school was still in, getting up early, coming in, watching film, getting my workout in, just trying to keep the same routine until the end of the season when the bowl game is over. Just so that when the game does approach, I'll be ready and be in the same flow as before.
Eric in Austin.
Yeah, Coach Golish kind of talked about how they didn't expect you to run as much, or they didn't expect to run you as much as they did this year, that you kind of bailed them out at times. What was your kind of reaction to running the football so much? Did you enjoy that aspect of your game?
Yeah, it's football, so I love everything. I love barking out the signals. I love looking off the safety and working the other side of the field. I love just catching the snap. Whatever I can do for the team to win is what I'm going to do. And, just being a natural football player, instincts take over. Everything breaks down. Let's make a play.
When you made the decision to leave Virginia Tech, what did you know about Tennessee football at that point? And what have you learned to appreciate about Knoxville, about Tennessee, the traditions and all that? And then two, or three, I guess. How have you? How's the sale of your children's book going?
I'll start with my book first. It's going pretty good. I've gotten a lot of support from fans and family members, also teammates. They were telling me that their families were reaching out about the book, which they are coming out this week. So they'll be shipped off to their respectful addresses that were put in. And I'm looking forward to people enjoying the book as much as me and my family. What was the other question you asked?
What did you know about Tennessee?
Oh, Tennessee, yeah. Just a rich tradition and, a great fan base. I always, growing up, I always wanted to play for a great fan base. Really just the guys that were already here, just talking to them and them telling me, you can come in here and lead our team, man. And that's really all I've asked for, just a fair shot to come in and operate at a high level at the quarterback position.
And a couple of things. One, when you were going through the process of deliberating whether to come back, was the name of Kenny Pickett or Joe Burrow mentioned to you, quarterbacks that weren't projected that high one year and then the next year projected to be in the top, either the number 1 pick or top 10 pick?
They weren't. I kind of felt like this was my own little deal. But just looking at their stories is amazing. I remember reflecting and just kind of thinking like, Kenny Pickett did, have a great year coming back, and Joe Burrow did as well. Those guys had incredible careers. If I can do half of what they did, I'll be satisfied.
And I asked Cedric Tillman earlier, if somebody told you in August this was a team that could set a record for scoring points, he said he wouldn't have been that surprised. What about you?
Yeah, not surprised at all. From day one, the first thing we all thought about was we're going to put points up on the board. So I'm happy to see that it happened.
You were asked about who you told first. How did you break the news to Josh Heupel, and how did he react to it?
Yeah, it was very casual. We were just kind of walking off the field, and he was like, "So what you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna come back next year." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited. Let's go to Atlanta." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Let's make it happen."
Patrick.
And when we talked to Jabari after the Vanderbilt game, and I think he was asked about you guys making your teammates making a pitch to you coming back, he was just like, yes. So how much did you hear from some of those guys to try to get you to come back? And now that you've made your decision, you trying to make sure that Cedric and Caden are coming back too?
Yeah, it was always like a joking matter throughout the season, just because we were concentrating on playing the game and the task at hand. But I heard from a lot of my teammates like, "Come back, Hen, like, come on, man." Or people just out in public would be like, "Yeah, we'll love to see you next year," or just some sly remarks. But, it's great to go out there and compete with those guys at a high level. They have great work ethics and great attitudes, so I love just going out there and competing with them.
For you, jumping back into practice, has there been any type of adjustment to getting back into the tempo of the offense, or is it just kind of routine at this point?
Just routine. Everyone's coming back, getting healthy. So it's good to see guys out there flying around and playing full speed and just enjoying playing football. I feel like everyone is having fun here in these practices, and also it's great to see these young guys go out and compete.
Two more, Adam, and we'll finish with you. Hendon, I know you've addressed it at least once in the past, but can you talk about kind of how the children's book came about, why you did it, how you pulled it off?
Yeah, it's kind of been circulating around me, my father, and my brother. Just talking about having a children's book, because we grew up with an ABC children's book, which was kind of similar, but it wasn't a sports or athletic-based book. And we kind of got the thought of it because of my little cousin His name is Hendon Hooker. He plays football and enjoys it. I love watching him play. Got inspired by him, just trying to be a positive influence in his life and other kids' life that are in the community. And that's pretty much how I got started. And now we're rolling and we've got a lot of support. So I'm excited.
During the season, one of the coaches said that they were surprised at how tough you are. One, were you surprised he didn't know how tough you are? And secondly, where does that toughness come from?
Yeah, just being a competitor, not taking no for an answer, just always trying to finish strong and put my all on the line for not just my teammates, but just the game of football. I have a true passion and love for the game of football, and I think that's where it comes from, just being that small kid out there trying to make big noise with the bigger kids. So.
Thank you, Hendon.
Yes, sir.